New York City, 1980s. The man they called the Teflon Don walks out of court yet again, smiling, confident, and feeling untouchable. John Gotti wasn't just another mob boss. He was a symbol of power, style, and defiance. To the public, he was larger than life. To the FBI, he was the one they couldn't pin down. But the story of how he rose, ruled, and ultimately fell is one of the most infamous chapters in American crime history. Outside, a crowd cheers. "Queens has 2 world champions," someone shouts. "The Mets and John Gotti." Gotti didn't just traffic in crime, he trafficked in image. A media-savvy gangster, he flaunted expensive suits, perfect hair, and a woman on his arm. He was the first media don, owning his role as the most powerful criminal in New York, until he wasn't. John Joseph Gotti Jr. was born in 1940 in the South Bronx, the 5th of 13 children. His family eventually settled in Brooklyn's East New York, deep in mob territory. By age 12, Gotti had a short temper and fists to match. He formed a neighborhood gang with his brothers, running errands for local wise guys. Petty thefts and robberies followed, along with a cement mixer accident that left him with a permanent limp. He dropped out of school in 1956 and was arrested at 16 for a gang fight. Not long after, Albert Anastasia was killed and Carlo Gambino rose to power. Gotti started doing small jobs for Gambino's crew, connecting with Angelo Ruggiero, Willie Boy Johnson, and Agnello Della Croce. In 1969, he was jailed for hijacking trucks and earned respect for serving without snitching. When Capo Carmine Fatico was indicted, Gotti was promoted to acting boss of their crew. Della Croce took him under his wing, but when Della Croce went to prison, Gotti started reporting directly to boss Carlo Gambino. Gotti was indicted for murder in 1973, pleaded down to manslaughter, and served 2 years. While he was locked up, Gambino died. The throne passed, surprisingly, to Paul Castellano, not Della Croce. Now a deep divide formed within the Gambino family. Castellano, the establishment leader, versus Della Croce's street loyalists. Castellano isolated himself behind the walls of his Staten Island mansion, ruling through a select inner circle, earning disdain. When Della Croce died in 1985, Castellano ignored promises to Gotti and his men, promoted his own underboss, disbanded Gotti's crew, and skipped Della Croce's wake, an unforgivable snub. 2 weeks later, on December 16, 1985, Gotti struck. Castellano and his underboss Bellotti arrived at Sparks Steakhouse. As they exited the car, gunmen opened fire. By the time the crowd cleared, both were dead. Gotti watched from a car nearby, a crime scene so cold it echoed for decades. 2 days later, at a meeting at Sammy the Bull Gravano's, Gotti emerged, unanimously recognized as the new boss of the Gambino family. He'd accomplished the nearly impossible, an unsanctioned hit on a crime boss. Across New York's other families, most accepted the shift, but Vincent the Chin Gigante of the Genovese family did not. Gigante retaliated. In April 1986, a car bomb killed Gotti's underboss, DeCicco, but Gotti was lucky. He hadn't shown up. Soon after, a second hit was thwarted when the assassins were arrested on bugged phones. After 2 failed attempts, even Gigante conceded Gotti was in power. With Castellano gone, Gotti stepped into the limelight. His image and luck defined him, a young, stylish boss whose courtroom wins made him untouchable. Jurors intimidated, witnesses silenced, bribery thriving, Teflon Don became his moniker. But Gotti's empire began to crumble from inside. DeCicco was gone. DiBernardo was murdered. Ruggiero died of cancer. His consigliere Gallo and brother Gene landed in prison. Left with few allies, Gotti appointed Gravano as underboss, his fatal mistake. In 1990, federal agents arrested Gotti with charges stacking, racketeering, murder, extortion, jury tampering. They built an airtight case with surveillance, recordings, and witness statements. But the final blow came from within. Gravano, once loyal to the end, flipped. In 1991, he testified against his boss, revealing details of 19 murders and Gotti's plan to use him as a scapegoat. This marked the highest-ranking defection in Mafia history. In 1992, Gotti was convicted on all counts and given a life sentence. He never surrendered control, issuing orders from prison via his son and brother, but justice had finally stuck. John Gotti died of throat cancer on June 10, 2002, at the age of 61. His decade behind bars was the final chapter of a life built on bravado, luxury, and crime. From street thug to media icon to kingpin and convict, Gotti's story is a testament to the perils of power and fame. The Teflon Don couldn't dodge it all, but boy did he try. John Gotti lived fast, dressed well, and ruled behind bulletproof glass, until it all came crashing down. The Teflon Don is gone, but his legend? That one's still sticking.